The theme of this week's episode of News Dump seems to be everyone disliked that. And we have a bunch of stories to cover from this past week, including some stuff about the Joker movie, an update on the Trump impeachment inquiry, and I don't know, probably some other basic movie news stuff, maybe not. But we should probably start out with a continuing story that has been playing out over all of our previous episodes from this week. American companies bootlicking China.
Webster's dictionary defines bootlicking as an act performed in an attempt to gain favor with someone or something through a servile or obsequious manner. Basically, you're acting like a little bitch and doing whatever it takes to impress someone, typically in a position of power over you, so you can fall into or stay in their good graces.
Yeah.
All week long, we've experienced a non-stop stream of examples of American companies bootlicking the Chinese so they won't diminish the staggering amount of money that those companies receive from either Chinese investors or the citizens of China who consume their products and services.
So, of course, the week started off with South Park getting banned from China and having basically any mention of the show completely deleted from their internet. Then the NBA issued apology after pathetic apology because the general manager of the Houston Rockets sent out a tweet in support of the Hong Kong protesters. Then, while all that drama was still in full swing, Blizzard decided to join the fun by banning professional Hearthstone player Blitz Chung and denying him any prize money after he voiced his support of the Hong Kong protests during an interview conducted by two hosts that were also fired because of it.
In the wake of that, there have been protests against Blizzard, with people ending subscriptions to their games, attempting to delete their accounts, and attempting to turn the Chinese Overwatch character Mei into a mascot for the Hong Kong resistance. On Tuesday of this week, Blizzard employees staged a walkout in protest of their company's actions, with one longtime employee quoted as saying, "The action Blizzard took against the player was pretty appalling but not surprising. Blizzard makes a lot of money in China, but now the company is in this awkward position where we can't abide by our values." In addition to that, a popular Hearthstone player and official tournament caster named Brian Kibler announced that he was dropping out of BlizzCon and will no longer be involved in Grandmasters going forward unless something changes.
So that's cool.
So some Blizzard employees also taped over company values on the property.
Yeah.
It's like, we're a global company. They covered it up with paper.
Yeah. Now, for some reason, they don't want to be left out. Apple has entered the mix as well, thanks to their decision to remove an app that was being used by protesters to track the movements of police from the Apple App Store, even after they approved it just earlier this month. Now, all of these add on to a growing list of companies who have chosen to alter their products and services or use their power in an attempt to silence or censor people in order to please the Chinese government, aka the Business Hall of Bootlickers. Across numerous subreddits and Reddit threads this week in general about all of these articles, there have been comments that keep a comprehensive list with sources attached of companies that have been bending the knee for China over the years. Here's some examples from the Business Hall of Bootlickers.
Business Hall of Bootlickers! Apple censoring the Taiwan flag emoji, Vans censoring a pro-Hong Kong democracy design from a competition, Paramount censoring the Taiwan flag from Tom Cruise's jacket in the new Top Gun, Marriott apologizing and changing Taiwan to China as a location for their hotels and firing an employee who liked a tweet from the Tibetan independence group, Cathay Pacific Airlines firing employees for Facebook posts supporting Hong Kong protests, Mercedes apologizing for quoting the Dalai Lama on Instagram, American, Delta, and United Airlines removed mention of Taiwan as a country from their website, TikTok, which is a Chinese app, censored videos that mentioned Tiananmen Square, ESPN showed a map approved by China during its broadcast, and the Sixers basketball team ejected fans for supporting Hong Kong at a game after the whole NBA scandal. MGM changed the Chinese flags to North Korean flags in the remake of Red Dawn. I forgot about that. L'Oreal Lancôme canceled a concert by a Hong Kong artist because of her pro-democracy activism, and so on. Many more.
You get the picture, right? You understand this has actually been happening for a while, and luckily, I guess, it's been brought to the forefront because of the protests and the big actions by these companies.
We're about 20 years too late, guys.
We missed the boat. Well,
the cancer has fully taken over the body, and we're going to die.
Now, on the other side of the spectrum, got to give the other side. The other side of the spectrum, it is a much smaller side, but some people and companies have decided to take a stand.
Some unexpected.
Yes,
unlikely
very
heroes.
unexpected.
Yeah.
This first one wasn't unexpected. South Park doubled down on their follow-up episode by having Randy Marsh explicitly say, "Fuck the Chinese government."
And I heard at one of the protests, they pulled out a big old projector and they screened that episode on the side of a building during the protests.
Cool.
Fucking hell yeah.
A gaming startup based in Australia named Immutable stepped up to pay for the prize money that Blizzard denied to Blitz Chung. Ubisoft reverted aesthetic changes to Rainbow Six that they'd initially made to please Chinese censors. Prague has canceled its sister city partnership agreement with Beijing. And the Netherlands has officially come out in support of Taiwan and said, yep, that's a country.
All right. Good job, Czechs and Dutch. But what might be the riskiest support of all came from a source that we would have never expected in a million years. Epic Games and their CEO, Tim Sweeney. The reason this is unexpected is because, as you may already know, Chinese media conglomerate Tencent owns 40% of Epic Games. In a statement to The Verge, a company spokesperson said the following: Epic supports everyone's right to express their views on politics and human rights. We wouldn't ban or punish a Fortnite player or content creator for speaking on these topics.
Wow, okay. Tim Sweeney doubled down on this during an impromptu Q&A, saying, Epic is a US company and I am the controlling shareholder. Tencent is an approximately 40% shareholder, and there are many other shareholders, including employees and investors. To which someone replied, 40% is a big cut, though. They're already apparently pulling out of the NBA league. Can you honestly say if a similar event happened, you wouldn't have to sever ties with said influential figure, i.e. the NBA coach, she meant the general manager guy, or Hearthstone champ? And he replied, yes, absolutely. That will never happen on my watch as the founder, CEO, and controlling shareholders.
Yeah, it was basically explained because it's not a public company, so even if Tencent wanted out, they wouldn't be. They'd have to basically find a new buyer.
Yeah.
And for a company like Epic, that would not be difficult for someone else to just immediately buy up those shares.
I mean, kudos to him for taking such a solid stance on a topic, knowing that, yeah, currently a Chinese company owns a significant amount of Epic Games. This one will definitely be interesting to see play out. We can assure you that Tencent is not happy about this.
I'm sure they're not, but what can you do? Also, to be fair, Fortnite is not very popular in China.
No.
Not nearly as popular as Blizzard's esports games.
So, I don't know. Still, this is all very fresh and new, so we'll see if anything happens. Like Elliot said, they could completely pull out and sell their
someone would buy it.
Stake.
Someone immediately would buy it.
No.
In moments, in seconds. Anyway, all right, moving on from China news to something else that falls under the category of everybody disliked that. Jared Leto's portrayal of the Joker.
We all did dislike that.
Maybe one or two people liked it, but no, it sucked. It was bad.
Yes.
With all the attention that the Joker standalone film has gotten recently, and with the overwhelming consensus among critics and moviegoers being that Joaquin Phoenix did a fantastic job in the role, did anyone take a second to even check in on poor little Jared Leto? The Academy Award-winning actor whose portrayal of the character was so comically bad that it's gone down in history as the worst version to ever show up in a movie. Did anyone check in with Jared to see what Jared thinks about all this? No, they didn't.
No.
But we found out anyway,
Yes.
and based on his reaction to the new Joker movie being made, he might be living out his own origin story somewhere right now as we speak.
Yeah, watch out. According to a recent article in The Hollywood Reporter, Warner Brothers' decision to greenlight a new, standalone Joker movie either during or just after his portrayal of the character in Suicide Squad left him, quote, alienated and upset.
What did I even get these permanent face tattoos for anyway?
Damn it. Since then, he's created a cult that he apparently both confirms and denies is an actual cult, and he'll probably just instruct those cult members to send out used condoms and butt plugs to employees at Warner Brothers in an attempt to sow chaos, thus becoming a real-life version of his character. Honestly, it's just hilarious in retrospect to see how little, a smidgen of faith, not even, that Warner Brothers had in his portrayal, and how quickly they started work on a new version of the character with a completely different actor. There was no time that passed.
No.
We are actually worried about his cult members, though. Let us know if you're okay and, aren't about to go on a crime spree in a metropolitan city that doesn't exist.
I'm more worried about them because of all the alleged sex stuff that Jared Leto gets up to. Look it up.
Not a cult, but it is.
Yeah. In other Joker news, and hopefully the last news story we ever have about the Joker movie on this show, because at this point it's exhausting.
Yeah.
During the film's opening weekend, a few pranksters decided to add some fuel to the stupid panic fire set by the media surrounding this whole event by printing out statements from theater companies regarding new policies that would deny certain people access to the screenings. They were both obviously fake, but at least one was so ridiculous that it was actually funny. At the Hollywood Arclight Theater here in Los Angeles, a notice was publicly posted on the property that stated the following.
Please note, we are enforcing a strict no guys who look like they've never had sex policy for tonight's showings of Joker due to safety precautions. We will not admit any persons who look like their balls are backed up with cum. Our staff Our staff will have to inspect your weird balls to make sure that you have unloaded ropes into another human within the last year.
God. Ropes is my least favorite new term.
When Arclight discovered the posted signs, they were obviously removed, and the theater issued a statement via Twitter saying, "Apologies for any confusion, but this document was not authorized nor posted by Arclight.
Oh, really?
It does not reflect our operational policies and has since been removed."
Wait, was it real?
Damn it.
What?
Anyway, shortly after that, a new sign appeared. One that agreed with their response, but added, "We do not require weird ball inspections, and all customers are allowed to see the movie, regardless of their level of rope unloading experience."
Living in LA is fun sometimes.
Sure.
So that's fun, and obviously fake.
Yes.
The one posted at an AMC theater during opening weekend was also fake, but taken very seriously by some people online, including myself. I was like, yeah, you know what, maybe. Especially the person who initially found it. A Twitter user named Jin Payne posted the following last weekend. "Great, I can't see the Joker movie because I'm here alone. What the fuck, AMC theaters?" Alongside a photo of the sign posted on an AMC ticket booth, which read, "Please note, we are enforcing a strict no singles policy for tonight's showings of Joker due to safety precautions. We will not be admitting anyone without an additional partner." I mean, that's how a lot of gun ranges work.
Yeah, sure.
Obviously ridiculous, though, but I guess since they didn't use language like unloading ropes of cum, some people bought it. And it briefly turned into a whole thing, despite whoever was running an official AMC Theaters account working overtime to reply to everyone, confirming, it's all bullshit. Come on, it's not real.
Guys, please. Like,
Come down and see a movie by yourself. We don't care.
Every time someone would, multiple times, "Is this real?" Over and over and over again. This poor person working over at the social media team for AMC Help just had to reply to every single person just to be sure.
While they're working overtime doing this, they accidentally like a tweet that's critical of Hong Kong, and boom, now they're out on the street.
Yeah. Well, you probably shouldn't be surprised to find out that the person who posted the tweet was actually the one who created and taped up the sign.
Oh, what?
And then took a picture of it to either troll people or create even more weird drama surrounding the movie.
This was an inside job.
Mm-hmm. AMC Theaters, who were obviously not pleased that they had to pay their social media person overtime, confirmed that, it was the tweeter, and they followed that up by sending a letter to that person that laid out the entire process. And you're asking yourself, how are we to believe this letter that the person posted when they already posted a fake letter that they took a picture of? Well, this letter has actually been confirmed as real by The Hollywood Reporter. Here's what it said.
At 10:37 p.m., you were spotted placing an unauthorized sign by the ticket kiosk that read, blah, 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 you know, there you go. You then took a picture of the sign, took the sign down, and posted the photo on Twitter. About 12:58 a.m., you were seen approaching the automated box office, putting the same sign on the glass, and exited the building. Based upon all the information described above, it is in the best interest of all parties that you do not return to any AMC theaters. If you return to our theaters, you will be considered a trespasser, and the involvement of law enforcement and arrest may result. In addition, your AMC A-list account will be closed for violation of its terms and conditions. Mm-hmm. The movie cop is on the case.
Yeah.
Put down the movie ticket.
Yeah.
The user then posted a big apology letter to AMC, but it's too little too late. His lifetime ban remains active. You know what I say? Worth it.
Yeah.
Did it for the memes.
Mm-hmm. One of the reasons he was caught, used the same account to solicit help from AMC previously with his AMC A-list account. So they obviously looked into it and already knew who he was, and then just confirmed with the actual security footage.
Man, crime is hard.
It sure is. It sure is hard. And sometimes it doesn't pay. A lot of the times it doesn't.
I think this time it did. I think it was worth it.
Yeah. A cultural moment was
all
created.
All those likes and retweets? You can't pay. You can't buy that.
Not a lot of Regals out here, though. It was in Orange, California.
Oh, well, Orange has, as someone who lived most of my life in and around Orange, Orange has a really, you're going to have to leave Orange probably. Mm-hmm. But Orange County has more movie theaters and malls than it even makes sense, because there's nothing to fucking do down there except shop and see movies. He'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, anyways, finally for this week's news dump, Trump trying to get foreign governments to interfere in the U.S. elections. Everyone disliked that. Yes, even most Republicans disliked that. And now 51% of America agrees with the impeachment inquiry, according to, believe it or not, a recent Fox News poll.
And things are getting weird at Fox.
Yeah, they are.
There's a bit of a civil war in the minds of these Fox anchors. It's fascinating.
Paul Ryan is behind the scenes just pumping iron.
Yeah, he's more swole than he ever was in Congress.
I'm sure. A lot more time. Now, a lot of things happened this week, but after we explained the basis for the whole impeachment inquiry on last week's episode, we'll just give you the cliff notes of how things are progressing and leave some links in the description in case you want to look into things further, which you should do. Some pretty incriminating text messages between U.S. diplomats and Ukrainians were released on, I think, Friday of last week, and those were provided to the House by American Special Envoy to Ukraine, Kurt Volker, a Trump appointee. After that, a second whistleblower came forward, and the legal team representing both of the whistleblowers indicated that there are even more officials who will be, quote, making disclosures to the Intelligence Community Inspector General. Next up, the White House said that, shocker, it will not cooperate with the House impeachment inquiry. Big surprise there. What did you expect? They also blocked the U.S. ambassador from testifying before Congress, too. So, a little cherry on top.
On Thursday morning, 2 business associates of Rudy Giuliani were arrested at a D.C. area airport with one-way tickets out of the country.
Not suspicious at all.
Hey, sometimes you don't know how long you're going to want to be away. Yeah.
I'm an eligible 65-year-old bachelor. I don't know what I'm going to get into over there in Europe.
Most countries don't even let you in if you have a one-way ticket.
Sir, this is odd.
They'll literally make you buy a return ticket on the spot if you show up one way. Anyway, the 2 men, Lev Parnas and Igor Fruman, who had been helping Giuliani investigate Democratic presidential candidate and former Vice President Joe Biden, were arrested on charges that they schemed to funnel foreign money into U.S. politicians while trying to influence U.S.-Ukraine relations. Later on Thursday, Energy Secretary Rick Perry, the patsy, the guy who just last weekend was blamed for all this by Trump, despite the call being perfect.
It was a perfect call, but it was Rick Perry's fault.
Yep. He was.
Give that man a raise. No, he wanted him to resign.
Yeah, he was subpoenaed. Mm-hmm. And probably the worst part in all of this, from at least this last week, came from John Dowd, the lawyer who was, or I guess still is, representing the 2 guys who got arrested trying to flee the country. Mm-hmm. Before they were arrested at the airport, Dowd sent a letter to the House Intelligence Committee saying that they were harassing his clients and that they wouldn't be producing documents that the committee had requested.
Now keep in mind, he sent this letter days before they tried to flee the country. So yeah, that is shady. Like we said,
it's early October. It's vacation season, baby. Sometimes you just got to get away.
Yeah, true.
And you're seeing these flight prices. They're great.
It's ridiculous. Anyways, yes, that would be shady, especially considering what happened a few days later. But the worst part about that is the letter from what appears to be a real lawyer sent to the House Intelligence Committee was written entirely in Comic Sans. I mean, just look at it. Just look at it.
This is a weird problem with boomers. We had a boomer HR person for a while there that sent every official HR email in not just Comic Sans, but pink Comic Sans. Mm-hmm.
It's very strange.
The boomers need to all, if this country had a good social safety net, all these people could actually retire at 55 like they were supposed to originally, and we'd all be better off. But unfortunately, they have to keep doing their job and keep typing in Comic Sans all the time.
That's the thing, though. It's one thing from an HR person. Still, we were all very upset by it.
It was a huge problem.
Deeply offended all of us. Yeah. But this is a lawyer sending a legal letter to the House Intelligence Committee.
Well, maybe this guy thinks he's some sort of joker.
Could be. I don't know how the fuck anyone's supposed to take, I guess, any of this seriously. We're living in a fucking hellscape. But the Washington Post, why not? They decided to reach out to Dowd and, email him, ask him about why he decided to use one of the worst fonts known to man. And wouldn't you know it, he replied back with an email.
But twist, it was in papyrus font.
Yeah.
No, it's Comic Sans.
He wrote it entirely in Comic Sans. Even the emails are in Comic Sans. This is unbelievable.
I just like how it looks.
Yep, that's exactly what he said, because when it's explaining his actions, he said the following. Brittany, I am laughing. Folks don't have enough to do. I love the font. It's easy on the eye. In 30 years of use, no one has ever questioned it, even in the most serious matters.
This makes me think you're guilty of something, because you gotta be working with some sick fucking people.
Yeah.
None of them has ever once complained about the
Who are you surrounding yourself with?
Psychopaths.
Yeah, we immediately...
Real bad, sick people.
When our old HR lady sent those emails, we immediately protested.
Yeah, there was a big old Slack chat. It was like, you see this shit?
Someone legitimately called her out at an all-hands meeting for it and told her to stop.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And I think her response was basically the same as this.
Yeah, I like the font. It's fun to read.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it makes things fun at work.
So yeah, this guy's been using Comic Sans for everything, even serious shit, for 30 years.
A 30-year streak. Until now, one nosy Washington Post journalist comes barging through his email doors, questioning his use. Such a beautiful font.
I mean, this is a smoking gun right here.
Yeah.
Your Honor, this man uses Comic Sans.
Yeah.
In everything.
The article about this goes on further. They actually talked to the guy who invented Comic Sans.
He based it off of The Dark Knight Returns. They're the same. If you look at The Dark Knight Returns, a very gritty Batman comic book, it's the same fucking text.
Yeah. His wife described the use of Comic Sans in general, but specifically in this case, like someone you're supposed to take serious putting on a clown suit. So your Joker analogy is right there anyway from earlier. Anyways, before you go, we're going to say Joker one last time. Be sure to check out this week's exclusive podcast for Patreon supporters and YouTube members where we sat and drank and reviewed the Joker, much to the chagrin of most people listening.
Look, I'm glad you liked it.
But hey, I liked it. But hey, if you want to hear us bitch about the Joker a few more times, head over to the Patreon page using the link below. Sign up, get all those podcasts and more. And if you want to catch up on the rest of this week's news, be sure to check out these videos that'll pop up. There they are. They're somewhere right there. Check out those videos, and we'll see you very soon for a brand new episode of Weekly Weird News with another recurring favorite, a new favorite.
And an old favorite. God damn it.
Wow. Bye.
Bye.